yet another edition of One Take. This time round, our focus is on the Delhi Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. Manish Sisodia, who's been arrested by the CBI in the liquor gate scam, as it's been called.
Would you have anything to say about this kind of allegations?
किस वजह से आपको अरेस्ट किया गया, कुछ बताया गया सीबीआई द्वारा?
One of my first memories of meeting Manish Sisodia was way back in 2011. It was at the Finance Ministry in North Block. He had come to meet, along with the delegation, the then Finance Minister Pranab Mukherjee. But why had he come? That is because the Anna Hazare-led Lokpal movement, Right to Information movement, was at its peak, and they were demanding several changes by the then UPA government. It was one which was full of agitation, full of enthusiasm, and it seemed to gather a lot of public momentum. And at that point of time, he said something to me which was very, very interesting. He said that if we ever come to power, one of the first things we'll do is get rid of what he called needless institutions like the Planning Commission, as the Niti Aayog was called at that point of time. He was also dismissive of many of the institutions, or what he called the legal procedures. One saw a spark of a rebellion within him. It is this rebellious spirit, the fact that he has been extremely savvy in speaking, connecting with journalists, with the media, and also very articulate, which made him stand out. Together with the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, he became a formidable combination which helped the AAP rise from power to power, not just forming a government in Delhi, but also one in Punjab, and taking baby steps in other states like Gujarat, in Goa, Karnataka, and all of that is a part of the plan. But the focus this week, I'm going to be rising beyond the arrest of Manish Sisodia. What changes is it likely to make in the Aam Aadmi Party? Is it likely to have a focus or become a speed breaker as far as the AAP's national ambitions is concerned? Is an alternative going to emerge for Manish Sisodia within the AAP setup? Will Arvind Kejriwal now start looking for that pal, as he would often call Manish Sisodia? But more than that, what is it really going to do for opposition unity? Several questions I'm asking and raising this week, and we are waiting for your responses and reactions to that. But first, Manish Sisodia holds a maximum number of portfolios in the Delhi government. Those portfolios which could not be allocated to others were given to him. More than 15 portfolios in his kitty. But what he has always been remembered for, what has been the flagship program of the Delhi government, is that of education. In fact, if you remember, when he was arrested and just before he was going to a CBI headquarters for that investigation, he was being tom-tommed as a person who was being targeted because he had revolutionized the education system. Not just him, his family, the other AAP leaders, but Arvind Kejriwal, all of them made the point that the central government was jealous of the strides made by the Delhi government in the sphere of education. They were jealous, and therefore they were targeting one of the most popular and promising and intelligent leaders of the Aam Aadmi Party. Clearly, as a political party, the AAP is going to milk this arrest of Manish Sisodia. Can't blame any political party for that, because in the past almost every political party has done that. If the Congress party tried to do during the ED investigations of the Gandhis, they tried to build up a people's movement, galvanize their cadre. Mamata Banerjee certainly did during her time when she was taking on the left. And the BJP too made the point that if the Prime Minister, when he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat, could quietly go to SIT, why so much of hangama from the Gandhis and the cadre when it comes to ED investigations? Down south, Jayalalitha is one of the most prime examples how the many cases against her and her arrest was actually used by the AIADMK to galvanize her position as a huge political comeback. But AAP is a smaller setup. It's taken baby steps, yes, in many states. But will it be able to galvanize itself? But more importantly, it also has a handful of leaders who are actually the driving force of the party. Can Arvind Kejriwal move ahead minus Manish Sisodia? It was often said that when Arvind Kejriwal used to focus on, say, Punjab, and he clearly is the face of the Aam Aadmi Party, and he would campaign in, say, Gujarat and in Goa, it was left to Manish Sisodia with his multiple portfolios and his acumen to look up the Delhi government. He would manage the affairs of the party as well as of the government back over here in the national capital, while Arvind Kejriwal was left free. So is there anyone else who can take that place of Manish Sisodia? Comes to mind leaders like Sanjay Singh, but the name of Raghav Chaddha is also emerging as one of the most prominent faces till Manish Sisodia is released from jail. Now, Raghav Chadha is young, dynamic, extremely articulate, and also considered to be a successful politician because he was in charge of Punjab when the party formed a government in the state. But he had that kind of an experience which Manish Sisodia built up over the years. You know, it's interesting that Manish Sisodia has been a journalist. He has worked at All India Radio and a private television channel. He also understands, and in fact, he would advise a bureaucrat like Arvind Kejriwal turned politician how to handle the media. Which are the perfect prime time moments? What is it that you need to say to ensure you get those photo ops and you get those, engaging probes and attention from the people? Which is why it comes as no surprise that even while he was on his way to the CBI headquarters for investigation, he clicks those perfect photo ops which certainly the Aam Aadmi Party and Manish Sisodia supporters are going to use to their advantage. The moments he spent with his mother, his wife, that is family, calling the AAP leaders and the cadre as his family who's going to look after the many schools, saying the children who study in the schools set up under him are the ones who are going to protect him and his immediate family. Raghav Chadha will have an uphill task ahead of him. But more than that, I would say the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, who's poised to embark on yet another round of campaigns in important state elections coming up, say in Karnataka, later in Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan as well. Without Manish Sisodia by his side, it's going to be a little tough for him. But what about the larger picture? The larger picture of the Aam Aadmi Party. Will this arrest be a setback? Well, it's a mixed response. Whenever I spoke to a large number of people, well, yes, they are going to use it politically to their advantage to talk about political witch hunt, about the fact that how he is being trapped in, to use the words of AAP, in a false case, only because the central government does not tolerate the rise of their political opponents and they are jealous of the work which has been done by the Delhi government in the sphere of education. But you know, in politics, they often say out of sight, out of mind. And that is going to be one big challenge for the AAP. If Manish Sisodia is inside jail for a long time, things will certainly get difficult for AAP and Arvind Kejriwal. Public memory, as they say, is extremely short. But let's look at the larger opposition unity picture. Two quick responses which came in. On one hand, the Trinamool Congress condemned the arrest of Manish Sisodia, saying there you have yet another case of how the CBI, ED and the investigative agencies are being misused by the government to target their political opponents. In stark contrast was the criticism coming in from the Congress party of the show which has been put up by AAP in defense of Manish Sisodia. In fact, they welcomed the arrest of Manish Sisodia, saying कि सत्यमेव जयते. इसके पीछे there is a kind of hurt and bitterness of the Congress party. The Congress points out that when ED was investigating the Gandhis, there was not even a murmur of support coming in from the Aam Aadmi Party. It was time for sweet revenge. Also, the biggest hit for the Congress party has been the rise of the AAP. And therefore, they feel that you try and, kind of project the fact that AAP is a corrupt party, it's going to suit us in our narrative. But what does it then do for opposition unity? Well, nothing much. In our last episode, I had already talked about how opposition unity is emerging as just another mirage. This is going to be yet another case where corruption cases, investigations, jail terms is going to be yet another strain on opposition unity. But do give in your reactions on whether Manish Sisodia can be replaced within the Aam Aadmi Party. Can the AAP survive in its national ambitions if Mr. Manish Sisodia is inside jail for a long term? And what does it really mean for opposition unity? Thank you so much for watching.